Howdy folks, today's soap is brought to us from Gold Shave. Name of this one here is Junto. Yesterday's soap had a little bit of a, I guess you might say, liquor scent to it, and this one here does too. You might pick up scent you might pick off this one here. It would be maybe a sweet bourbon. It's got Spanish cedar, oud, amber, musk, but let's see if I'm going to make sure. I think this one here's got, yeah, it's got 5 ounces, it says right there. 5 ounces in this particular container. I'll have a link down below if you want to check this out. There's a little short story about what's going on right here. And also got the matching aftershave to go right along with it in a glass bottle here. And tell you what, this scent is really nice. That's what the restrictor looks like if you're interested. It's got a plastic one in there. And this cap is one of, I don't know if the light will pick it up, but this has got one of those posts that goes down inside the restrictor to help keep all the goodness inside the container so that you don't have any leakage. I have it whipped up here. It's moist. It's not exactly drippy this morning. Excuse me, got it whipped up here with a vintage century brush. This one here was I guess you might say refresh reknotted with the badger knot by Frank Gold Shave. It's a good looking brush. I have to add just a little bit more water. This handled the water quite well, and I have hard water, and it whipped up just perfect. Decided, I don't think I've used a 7 o'clock Sharpedge in a Focus Slim, so I went ahead and snapped one in half. Got it one in there, I think. Yeah, there's the blade exposure there. Does a pretty good job of putting it right in there, just right in with the bevel there. This is very lightweight. It's all aluminum. It's made in Italy, and it weighs less than an ounce. I think it's like 0.85 ounces, less than an ounce. It's pretty lightweight, well balanced. You can tell by the by the way it's shaped. It'll stand right on its hand, stand straight up. Pretty cool. I have shaved with this before a few times, and for me it is a very easy to use Shavette. Due to its weight, if somebody was using it on a, like in a barber shop or something like that on a regular basis, since it is lightweighted, you know, in other words, it wouldn't have to be quite as concerned about fatigue over a period of time during the day using it. But under an ounce, it is very lightweight. It is one of those Shavettes that has a tendency to be deceiving with it being so lightweight. A person would think that the weight of that shaver being that light would be kind of difficult to use, and it is surprising. It's the exact opposite of that. It is fairly easy to use. I know a lot of people who do enjoy it. Should mention that this shaver here, this Focus Slim, like the Focus Dynamic, it is recommended that you use a DE blade snapped in half, and you put the curled side down to the base plate on this one here, and then that lever just comes up and swings right over the top of it without a problem. Like I said, I haven't used a Sharpedge in this Shavette before, so I'm kind of curious to see how it works out. I've been using ones that have already been pre-cut, blades that have been pre-cut, and that is not what they recommend, but I've never had any problems with using DE blades that have been pre-cut, ready to go. Never had any problems with it, no issues, none whatsoever, but I thought maybe I'd give it a whirl, and besides the fact I haven't used a 7 o'clock Sharpedge and a shave, at least not that I can remember recent history, at least not snapped in half. I may have used it in a Vanta Shavette, which is another pretty nice Shavette. This scent is pretty nice. If you can compare the two scents, yesterday's scent, which had more of a coffee type scent to it, take the coffee out of that one, and he got something similar to this one in that it's a very nice scent. You can smell the little bit of the bourbon in it. It's well blended. Now my wife yesterday, which was right around the time frame around 4 o'clock, so I shaved earlier in the day, early in the morning, and around 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I didn't discuss with her, sometimes I do, with what I'm shaving with and what she can smell, pick up in certain notes of the scent. For her, she was able to pick up a couple of scents out of the around 4 o'clock time frame. She was still able to smell it, so I thought that was pretty cool. I think because of the weight of this shaver being all aluminum and does a fantastic job in keeping the balance just right. It is very well balanced. I have a link down below if you want to check it out. I picked mine up at Superior Shave. That's where the link is at also. It does come in different colors other than just green. Gold, I think it's gold, black, green, red, and silver maybe. It's like the dynamic. It does come in multiple colors. For me, this is a very easy to use Shavette. The exposure is just, right on, maybe that looks better. Just right on the money. Easy to find the angle. Just the right amount of blade exposure, I think, in my opinion. Now Focus has they make some other shavettes that I guess you might say is a little bit more budget conscious, right around the $15 to $20 mark there at Superior Shave. You can look at some of those that have a plastic insert, and those plastic inserts will cover the toe and the heel of the blade, so that might make it a little bit, I guess you might say mentally, a little bit more comforting to use when you got a little bit of that covered up for you. I know for some folks, the toe and the heel of the blade can be problematic for them. I don't feel that, especially with this shaver here, I don't feel like it's quite the issue. The exposure is very minimal on the toe and the heel. You can kind of tell the residual slickness is definitely there. A lot like Dawn soaps, in other words, from Wet the Face. I've been following Frank's soaps for a while, and I do enjoy using them. Pretty good stuff. There's a lot of background, and if you're unfamiliar with Strike Gold Shave and the soap and how he's evolved over time with his soaps, you can take a moment and look at his website, and you kind of see what's going on with his soaps and the line of the presidential line and various different presidents, and a lot of history behind his soaps, as well as this one here. This one here is relatively new, and there's another one I think that just came out. Was it just last week? You might like that scent also. This Badger knife's just full of soap. This Lather, one of these days, I guess maybe I need to, well, when I do get one of those, I have a camera in mind that I want to get, but it's not cheap. It's quite expensive. But I think it'll do a good job as it goes for being able to, how you can take a camera and you can move it and, point it down to like where I'm creating the lather and then whip it back up here. And once I finally get that set up, which is going to take a moment because like I say, it's quite expensive. We're talking about, by the time I'm done, upwards around $1,000. It's pretty expensive, but the setup is so nice to where you'd be able to do that sort of thing and still have a decent picture, nice video quality, where I can take a moment and show how the lather develops with some of the soaps that I use. That it's the reason why I really enjoy using the bowl, is being able to see it develop. And it usually doesn't take very long. And for me, it's spending 3 minutes or less just to work up a lather is not an issue. I know for some folks that might be a little bit on the lengthy side, but for me, that's just a short amount of time. The that 3 minutes or less that you spend to work up a lather, which is so important to the shave. There's all the components, I guess you might say, the shave is pretty darn important, but spend 3 minutes to work up a lather that just really impacts your shave. To me, it's not, 3 minutes is nothing. I probably will go through the soap sticks here pretty soon. When I say here pretty soon, probably within maybe the next month, somewhere in there. And I might do them off and on. I'm not the best at face lathering, so I need to practice, in other words. The blade is working quite well. It's relatively smooth. Um, it doesn't feel edgy to me. I think it's a pretty good choice if you haven't tried it in a Shavette. Matter of fact, I think I like it better in a Shavette than I do a DE. Show you what I'm talking about on this mechanism here. If I can do to get this to slide with my hands having all this soap on them. You see, it just slides right on down. And there's the blade. That's how it's held in place right there. Now, as far as I know, there hasn't been any changes to this setup. This is, I guess you might say, the first one, and I haven't seen anything else changing it. It does a good job holding it in there. Like I say, I've been using the ones that are pre-cut. I've been using those pre-cut blades for quite a while, and have not had any issues with the pre-cut blades. But maybe over time, if you were, I guess you might say, using it in a barbershop, using it several times a day, maybe that might become an issue, but for me it hasn't been. So if you're not a big fan of snapping blades in half, you like the pre-cut ones, you can give it a try, see how it works out for you. I know for me, I haven't had any issues, but maybe over time it develops an issue, I'm not real sure. But using the blade that's snapped in half, you put the curled end up against the base plate. That rest of it just swings right into place without an issue. Not quite like what you might think it would be. Face feels pretty good. We'll see what the alum block has to say. I think I'm going to have my typical spot where there might be some stinging right over here. It kind of feels like it. I think every once in a while I do get a little aggressive, it seems like, when I'm, especially if I'm working towards the facial hair there. It seems like I do get the pressure off just a little bit. Just a little bit of stinging. Consider a very smooth, comfortable shave. I think I do have some soap there. Sometimes I don't really notice until after the shave. Got the Humphrey's Witch Hazel. This one here is Cucumber Melon with a little bit of peppermint added to it. It's been a while since I mentioned it. This is one of the finds I found at Marshall, and it was on sale for a whole $2. There was 2 of them like that, and I picked up both of them. Couldn't resist. Not at that price. The Cucumber Melon, if you just take it straight as it is, has a very light cooling effect to it. And adding the peppermint to it just really gives it a boost. And it blended quite well. Typically, in other words, all day long, it stays looking just like that. Just a fantastic shave this morning. I always get a good shave with a Focus Slim. From day one, just really nice shaver. This aftershave. I think it's your typical 3.4 or 3 ounce container. Like I said, that's what the restrictor looks like. So not a whole lot's going to come out at one time, so you're going to have to work at getting some in your hand. I know for some folks that's a bit of an issue, having a whole bunch gushing out at one time. It is just a really sweet, it does have a bit of a sweet scent to it in the very beginning, and then it starts to, as it's drying down, the scent matter of fact, I can pick up the oud and some of the amber now that it's drying down. Maybe even a little bit of the musk. My nose typically doesn't pick up all that. This is this scent works well for me. My nose is very particular about what it picks up. This well blended though. Just a really nice shave this morning. Hope everybody's doing well. We're still getting rain here in Oklahoma, at least where I'm at. Nothing major though so far. No flood warnings or anything. Hope everybody's doing well. Stay healthy, stay safe, and smooth shaves to you.